guys, welcome to chapter 5, which is exploring categorical data. And after this is the end of theme 1, and then we go to experiments. Okay, anyway, so this chapter is pretty light too. It's 5 pages, I think. But anyway, the main thing in this chapter is the two-way frequency table, which is this over here. And so basically, I only have 2 tips on this chapter. The first one being, so they'll ask you questions. Usually they'll be like, okay, so construct a segmented bar chart about construct a segmented bar chart about the hair loss pattern for everyone under the age of 25. Okay, based on this one. Okay, that's what they'll ask you. So now the biggest tip is this. Okay, so if it asks you, so if I ask you the question, give me the hair loss pattern, give me a bar chart with the hair loss pattern for everyone under the age of 25, you know that you're going to have to calculate percentages, right? Which goes back to chapter 1, relative frequencies. So you know you're going to have to calculate 3 of them. And it obviously makes sense that the numerators for the 3 respectively will be 137, 22, and 40. Okay? But the question always is, what goes in the denominator over here? Okay? And you will have to figure that out because it's very question dependent. And yeah, this is the part that usually gets most people wrong, is what goes in the denominator. Okay, so in this case, well, it's asking you what is the hair loss pattern for all people under 25. So you don't even care about this data, right? Because this is for 25 to 28 and this is above 28. You only care about this row. Okay, so that helps you narrow down your choices, and then you're going to add all these up. So 137 plus 22 plus 40 gives you 991. Okay, so that gives you 199, right? So what does this tell you? Well, it tells you that there are 199 total people who are under the age of 25. Okay, and then you can figure out your 3. You can figure out your 3 proportions, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that is the biggest tip of this chapter, is what is the denominator, and if you can figure that out, you should get most of the rest. Anyway, if you actually make the segmented bar chart, it looks like this. 25. Okay, and now we're once again going back to the roots of chapter 1. First of all, these are relative frequencies. Okay, so I don't actually know why they made it like, forget it, but these are relative frequencies. Okay, that means that this plus that sums up to 1, which is what this segmented bar chart is showing. Alternatively, you could have made 3 bars, like let's see, you could have this, that, and that. You could have made these, but I like this one better. Anyway, so first rule, it must add to 1. And the biggest rule, the second rule, which again goes back all the way to chapter 1, is if I asked you the question now, this is tip 2, if I asked you the question, what are the number of people under 25 who have no hair loss. Okay, how would you answer this question given this graph? Wait for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, you can't because it only gives you the relative areas. Once again, chapter 1, relative areas mean relative frequencies mean relative areas. The heights of an individual bar chart, if you're given the percentages and the proportions, they don't mean anything. The heights mean nothing, okay, except relative areas. So that is the biggest tip, and that is really okay. So here's a general tip. Tip number 3, I suppose, is whenever you're doing problems, you always think about, well, what are the things they can quiz you on? And these are the only two things they can really quiz you on that are tricky, right? So you would just do these two, and then, yeah, that's basically your edge cases. And that is it for this chapter. And the next chapter will be combined for 6 and 7. Okay?